Hello. Hi. How's it in the name of Christ? How you doing? It's your girl Crank. Hey. Karabo. I don't even know if I'm anybody's girl at this point. It's like haters gon' hate. I cannot die. I don't care anymore. I hope you're good. I hope you're peachy. I hope you're Stella. And I hope you're in a neat little bunch. If you're not, welcome to the body. I need a toothpick. I just ate, what do you call this? Like a peach. And it's in my teeth. Welcome to the party. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so it's the 3rd of March 2024. It is a strange day, as all days are typically quite strange in my life. So we just take them in our stride. It is 2039. Not the year. Dream on a dreamer. Does anybody want it to be 2039? No, I'm sorry, I don't. You know why? Because 2024 is so bad that 2039 is just gonna be terrible. If at all, it's not the millennial reign. But we don't know. Okay. I still need a toothpick. Anyway, let's just put this out there. Captions. Let me put some caveats out there. My captions, they're not always accurate. Kindly look out for that. Are you looking at my hair on some, what's going on over there? It's my hair, guys. It don't move. Except it's moving this time around. Hey. Y'all, please, like, I would implore you to go out there in these streets and get mini braids. They will make your life a living wonderment. A living wonderment. Okay, that obviously looks like product buildup, and that obviously is kind of disgusting, but that obviously is something you're going to ignore. So how about we just obviously not even pay attention to the fact that we're walking at product buildup. I said I would wash my hair last week. I didn't. So what we're going to do is just hide that, like, that's what's, oh, look, it's hidden. Let's ignore. Okay, but like mini braids, love like it's romantic. They're beautiful, they're wonderful, they're lovely. They go bump in the night sometimes because you don't want to remove them, and then next thing they've matted your hair, and when you try to bring them down, they're like ha 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 ha, forget about length retention. But I'm keeping them because I'm suffering, I'm poor, life sucks, and when that's the case, we just keep a hairstyle for much too long. So don't come at me with a flying kick. Don't do it, because it's the end of the world. I'm gonna conquer because I'm in Christ. Okay. Kindly look out for my captions. They're not always accurate. You got, like, I proper need a toothpick. I'm tempted to use my fingernail, but that's not gonna happen. They're not always accurate. They sometimes use a small G for God, and I'm already feeling that. But it is what it is, you know. We just kind of roll with it. Rolling with the homies. Remember Clueless? No, don't go watch it. I was unborn again at the time. Anyway, look, it's really hot right now. But I'm happy because it's March, and when the saints go marching in. March is autumn for us. It's the beginning of autumn, and I'm just like, you know what, bring it. Autumn for him, because we ought love him. Okay, cool, that's out of the way. One day maybe I'll hire, like, you know, some Generation Z person, if the Lord gives me a future, to edit my captions for me, because largely they're just inaccurate. But until then, we just deal. Wearing the top like this is killing it, isn't it? It's kicking in. It's killing it. It's killing it and kicking it, yeah. Ooh. Moving on, another thing, caveat, putting it out there. Application makeup, like what, right? So I'm probably wearing that. If I'm rocking up makeup, it's gonna bounce up and down sometimes. Every so often it's gonna be like, Karabo. Nobody looks like that in the street. So don't do it, 'cause then you're gonna get burned by that which burns, and then it's gonna be crispy. And then we're gonna be like, sorry, you failed the audition because you can't sing. I just wanna go home, yo. I wanna go home. Oh, how I wanna go home. Okay, so I'm still pursued by something dastardly, and we're gonna speak about that. Yo, I'm not a fan of singing, except I think I just lied. God, please forgive me. We like to sing, but not every day, because sometimes it gives us a blue eye. Because now I have a blue eye. You know what? A phone. My phone is not even really a phone. It's a tool for internet. Because it doesn't even take calls no more. That's what happens. Yeah. When you are broke. When you're poor. Adam escapes when that is you. Okay, I want this phone to do what is the only thing it can do. Yeah. Catch on to some Wi-Fi, like Tarzan swinging on a rope. Watch out for that connection. Alrighty, cool. I am bombarded by lots of random rabiosh. Where shall we find the rabiosh? The rabiosh is in the street, just trying to touch me. And I'm like, rabiosh, can't get kantolagala cause I'm hammer. Can't touch this. Yeah, okay, third thing, I have like a segment. Okay, you guys, just to display that life is really sad. And I'm like, I got these bullies all over the show. And I'm like, don't you bully me. And don't you bully me, just connect to the Wi-Fi. Don't you bully me, just connect to the Wi-Fi. I said don't bully me, but it wants to bully me. Why am I being bullied? Why is this so bad? Why is it? It is a bad day. But if you bully me, God is gonna fly kick you, boom. I do that hoping to blush my cheeks. Some days it works, other days it's like, we are forced grandchild. And I'm like, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. Anyway, whatever. When you prick me, I bleed. That's like the whole strategy over there. If there is no blush happening, it's okay. You win some, you lose some. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. It's like betting on horses. Don't do it. Just don't gamble. Alrighty. Guys, I was woken up with like a disaster song in my mind. It was a disaster song because I didn't even know the lyrics until I looked them up, and I was like, yes, then lost me 8 met rubbish something. You know when something is disgusting? I'm sorry, I spoke about this yesterday. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Actually, no. Not really. I'm sorry, that had to happen, guys. Herein lies the deal. I like decorum. You know why? Because who has the decorum when they are suffering the kind of persecution that is only endured in the tribulation? A worse time than anything in the history of the human race. Really and truly, there's nothing more terrible than that time. And when you're going through that terrible time before the tribulation, you know we are foreshadowing the tribulation. But until such time that we are roaming the strata with the tribulation, we just speak about how it is that it's entirely unacceptable to be enduring me through the tribulation before the tribulation. Tribulation! Rubbish nonsense. There are people in the last days before the tribulation that are going to be enduring me through what I'm going through now, you know. And I'm like, but really does what about me is displaying Janice Dambry? Can we please have discussion? We're gonna read from this book in a minute, and then we're gonna fan ourselves because it's very hot. But like before we get there, why is this thing? It's only got one job. Come on, catch on to the Wi-Fi. I'm exhausted. Oh, catch on. You know, I told you that this phone has one purpose, and for as long as I'm still breathing on the planet, it's gonna catch. Wow, because the purpose of it is eventually going to be why? Because I'm Jesus' disciple, you know. Everything must just work out until it just stops working out. And when stuff stops working out, it's really very bad for you, not me. Because everything works out for my good. So because it caught the Wi-Fi, you are very, very blessed. It means that you've got maybe one more day. So just do better at hand. Please, I can't multitask, so I'm going to pause you. Okay, we are back, and we are done with the funny accent. Listen up, okay, you guys. Like, I'm exhausted. I spoke about this yesterday, and I'm still on it. Guys, no. Underestimation attack rubbish. That's what happened last night. You know when you are just dealing with the baida, and I'm like, no, it's okay, it's alright. I'm not that scared anymore. Oh, see the worry in my eye. Who's saying that now? Me. The tables are turning, the devils are turning, the devils. Okay, I woke up to this diabolical song. I didn't realize it was diabolical until I read the lyrics, and we're just gonna sing it. I'm still bombarded by the same thing, and for as long as I remain bombarded by the same thing, we shall continue to speak about the same thing, because this here is a problem, a challenge in the country. It is destroying and disturbing, so it's it is disturbing and destroying, so it's disturbing the peace of the people, and with it being a very disturbing diabolical problem, we raise it over and over until eventually, just like ironing a shirt, it is flattened. Okay. Y'all, Kitlo Bina Pina Enane. The reason why I'm gonna sing this song, y'all, I'm gonna sing that. Okay, Kitlo Bina Pina Ena means I'm gonna sing this song. I'm gonna be all up in English, right? Because I want everybody to hear. I'm gonna sing this song because this song I haven't heard this song in a minute. Like, as in, like, in a minute. Like, yo, in a minute. Like, it's been a minute. Okay, now we're done. Alright? I have not heard the song in a minute, so stuff does not just come to me, Jeffella, boom, like landing on my doorstep like an uninvited next door neighbor, ulling loud. Unless that's what God is telling me, that's what's going on. And if God tells it to me, especially so loud and banging in my ear, I have to come and share it so that you can understand just how bad this matter is. The matter is diabolical. It's bad. It's really super nefarious. And it's, again, I shall say it, bad. So because the situation is as bad as it is, we have to keep raising it so that you can understand that this is God's heart. This is how God is feeling. Perhaps about South Africa, just generally the country. Or maybe it's the globe. I don't know. You tell me. Where do you live? Where are you from? It doesn't matter. Nobody watches my content, so probably nowhere. It's probably an issue in your particular backyard, and I'm gonna highlight why it is that this here led to, like, literally the end of the world. The end of the world, guys. In South Africa, we love you. Our beautiful land. Let's show the whole world we can bring peace in our shut up. That's how I feel. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, cause now you're just disturbing the peace. Listen, this here is a jam that God woke me up this morning, and it was banging as loudly as the song can bang in your head. If at all, it is super duper loud on the radio. Because we still have radios when we are suffering, okay? Yeah, don't know anything about technology. Don't tell me about Spotify, Schmodify. Kinale radio, ele frequency, wire, and everything. Gotta walk around just to catch some signal. This song was just going and going and going, and I was literally woken up by it, almost like as with an alarm clock. Imagine in the morning you gotta wake up and the song just goes, go in your ear. You'd be like, yo, that was a hint. Except you did not plan it to wake you up. It's not a song you've been listening to. It's not been ringing in your mind, but like it's all up in your grill. Ladies, I spoke about this yesterday. Please stop passing a sister some SHADE, cause you think I need you start, baby. You know me better than that. Shade like Sade. Don't be passing me shade, because this is what's happening to y'all. This is what's happening to y'all. This is the level of coercion that you're endured under. I've been wondering why some of the baddest chicks in the game, is in the entertainment industry, especially in my country, are marrying guys that I'm like, what an anticlimax. Like, you know when a woman is so amazing and then she gets married and it's like, wah, 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 wah. Like anticlimax. Celebrities in this country, women, literally marry like anticlimaxes. I promise you. Most sought after, wonderful ladies, they also date. Typically wonderfully, according to the standards of this world. Yeah, and then they end up married to and I'm like, how do you go from dating so high profile and so like you look like you make sense for each other, and then you break up with that guy, right? And then your husband becomes a kind of woman that everybody's waiting with bated breath to see who she's gonna end up with. And then it's guys, I apologize. Can witchcraft be that flagrant? It's almost as if though it's never mind who is the highest bidder, but who is the most prolific Satanist. to get women that every man in this country is breaking their teeth to get. Every man in this country is breaking their legs and toes and are finding themselves in comas or catatonic to get. And then she marries them. And some of these ladies, some of them don't even get married. And it's because of stuff like this. Stuff like Bina Ena. Namo life in Kitlo Bina ne. Y'all know I love to sing. Whether or not I can do it is irrelevant. Bottom line is I like to do it. Okay. Oh no, come back, come back. Come back, Jack. Come back. Come back, Jack. Come back. Okay, Jack is back. Could y'all tell that was like Titanic type vibes? Because it's sinking. This here is sinking.
Gutliel, Gutiguya, Shubalana, Govia, Sigutigu Peli Lengatio, Nishi Longati, Umanitela Gangaga, Guza Shuba, Guze Gushubule, the way Gushubing Akona, Nichilengati Gutliel, Gutilei Titanic. Kata aningi kolwi Okay, I'm sorry for singing in Zulu. Please don't leave me, English audience. I am coming back. This is what I was talking about. Women, ladies, all of y'all passing me shade because you think I leave your side, baby. I got lines, y'all. Just admit it, okay? You know me better than that. Okay, now let's get to the point. Pinaena. I only know its chorus from back in the day. I recognize it, but I only know its chorus. And when I heard the chorus just being repeated on a loop the whole of the song, I thought it meant that, oh, I'm getting my breakthrough, I'm getting my breakthrough. God is using these lyrics to help me understand. But then something told me, literally read the whole lyrics, go and look up the song. And then I saw the hidden message behind it, and I was like, wait, taking Satan into it. And now I'm not gonna marry. I would rather die. Never mind, rather die. I have a feeling I'm going home in the rapture. This year is going to result in the new millennium. Na 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 na. At this rate, we're gonna go in the millennium. Rule and reign with Christ for 1,000 years because you refuse to do a better thing. I could think of better days when the world was falling over. But then I came out on the other side a little nasty. I could never see tomorrow. Heaven never told me about the sorrow. How can you mend this broken earth? How can we stop these tears from falling down? Basic. Get in the millennial reign. Cause it appears ain't nothing else out here in these streets be doable. It looks like we're at the end of the world. And I'm just gonna read from 2 Timothy 3 as to what is going on over here so that you can understand it's not just about speaking or singing a Celine Dion song. It's about recognizing what God is saying through it, because the Lord God Almighty found this song to explain to me just how coercive these randos are. Like, you know when you romanticize something that's just not romantic, it's nasty. This is how badly men in the occult want Christian women. Never mind that, but this is how badly guys that have been rejected, cast out, kicked to the curb, told angsak funi, this is how they come back into women's lives, and they thoroughly achieve this. They achieve it. They go and they cause a woman who has doors slammed, a dude, to be like, ooh, I can see where it's coming from. And I've been speaking about this. I spoke about it yesterday, maybe even the day before. And the fact that I keep on reiterating it, rehashing, because I keep getting the same dreams means it's that bad of a problem. It's that bad of a problem to a point where the Lord sees us for me to raise it again and again and again and again and again and again. It is problematic, so we're addressing it. Let's start singing the song a bit. When I start singing it, you're going to understand what in the world the song is about. But I'm going to sing it. I can't sing like Celine Dion, so please have mercy on me if my voice chokes up. It doesn't matter, just listen to the lyrics. Imagine you... Okay, so I'm an INFJ in terms of my personality type according to Myers-Briggs personality test. And INFJs have this thing that they do. They door slam on people. Like if you burn bridges with an INFJ, there's no coming back. This here is like a song that more than any other song hugely and thickly describes how I would respond to a situation where I'm done, like I'm walking out. I like to say that, like Sam Smith, I'm way too good at goodbye. I know how to say goodbye and get gone and be like a step proper. So when I finally left, for instance, my ex-boyfriend, when I was completely done, he was shocked out of his mind that I would not let him back in. Why? Because I have a door slam policy. It takes a minute for me to get there, and once I'm there, we're done. And for a person to go and use witchcraft
bring back lost lover, to try and force a person that was done with you, like finished with you, to come back. All that can produce later on is a severity of unhappiness, a severity of discontent, maybe even marital unfaithfulness, cheating, and in the worst case, murder, suicide. I spoke about that the other day, where it is that romance is like things there go so badly that people literally end up dying. That level of coercion is found in the song. I was woken up by this song in the morning, out of bed, or afternoon, seeing as I sleep in the wee hours of the morning. I was woken up by this song and I was like, God, but like I fought that yesterday. I spoke about that yesterday. I spoke about it day before yesterday, even. And the day before that. I can't keep talking about the same thing, because then I'm going to be viewed as arrogant. I'm going to be looked at like I'm this self-important, self-adoring, conceited woman that thinks everybody wants to be with me. They just want to be my lover, and they better get their act right. I'm just gonna look like they want to be my. I wanna wiggy, wanna gizzy. Yeah, it might make me look as if though I am self-elevating, because I'm out here accusing some men of being dastardly and coercive, where I'm concerned, the way I'm just so spectacular, I'm so lovely, that they can't help but be with me. And God is like, Karabo, this ain't about you, you cheeky. It's literally not about you, cheeky. Relax. It's about the fact that this is an epidemic against women in, I would go so far as to say the world, but for now, my country. That is South Africa. Rautswa. We are being stolen. And then our men are thoroughly investing in a whole bunch of hookah chaka inside the entirety of the marriage. Can't let a sister rest. So as a result, their characters plunge inside the marriage, making them worse and worse people. And so literally just nothing but misery follows that marriage, because the guy is so invested in manipulating his wife spiritually, because that's how he brought her in. Hookah chaka, like Jumanji. That's all you hear throughout the marriage. You gotta play a game. Like Robin Williams, you get married to a guy and it's like rolling a funny little die that lands you in a jungle. And then in the jungle, you must wait until the dice rolls 5 or 8. So I'm kind of hoping to be the dice that's being rolled right now, 5 or 8. Okay. To get you as a middle-aged woman out from Jumanji, because proper, it's about time you got out of jungles, ladies, because these guys are putting you in a game of Jumanji, being stampeded on by animals, unsure what in the world happened, unable to recognize your own face in the mirror when you look at it, because you're married to a devil worshipper or prolific. Listen, the song, let's just get straight into it, alright? Bet you've been waiting with bated breath trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Irikibin. Paraputi. Paraputi. Tu. Paraputi down to zedem parampun zedent Paraputi. Okay, here's the song. There were nights when the wind was so cold that my body froze in bed if I just listened to it right outside the window. And there were days when the sun was so cruel that all the tears turned to dust, and I just knew my eyes were drying up forever. I finished crying in the instant that you left, and I can't remember where, when, or how. And I banished every memory you and I had ever made. And then this is where like there's a whole anticlimax. But when you touch me like this, and you hold me like that, I just have to admit that it's all coming back to me. When I touch you like this, and I hold you like that, it's so hard to believe, but it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me now. There were moments of gold and there were flashes of light. There were things I'd never do again, but then they'd always seemed right. There were nights of endless pleasure. It was more than any loss allow. Baby, if I kiss you like this, and if you whisper like that, it was lost long ago, but it's all coming back to me. If you want me like this,
And if you need me like that, it was dead long ago, but it's all coming back to me. It's so hard to resist, and it's all coming back to me. I can barely recall, but it's all coming back to me now. But it's all coming back. But you were history, but you were history. Yeah, listen to this. Listen to this. INFJ door slam, okay? But you were history, but you were history with the slamming of the door. And I made myself so strong again somehow. And I never wasted any of my time on you since then. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Remember? But you were history with the slamming of the door. And I made myself so strong again somehow. And I never wasted any of my time on you since then. But you were history with the slamming of the door. And I made myself so strong again somehow. And I never wasted any of my time on you since then. But if you touch me like this, but if I touch you like this, and if you kiss me like that, it was so long ago, but it's all coming back to me. If you touch me like this, and if I kiss you like that, it was gone with the wind, but it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back, it's all coming back to me now. There were moments of gold and there were flashes of light. There were things we'd never do again, but then they'd always seemed right. There were nights of endless pleasure. It was more than all your laws. It was more than all your laws allow. Baby, 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 when you touch me like this, and when you hold me like that, it was gone with the wind, but it's all coming back to me. When you see me like this, and when I see you like that, then we see what we want to see, all coming back to me. The flesh and the fantasies all coming back to me. I can barely recall, but it's all coming back to me now. If you forgive me all this, if you forgive me all this, if I forgive you all that, we forgive and forget, and it's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back, it's all coming back to me now. And when you kiss me like this, and when I touch you like that, and if you do it like this, and if we basically, it's all coming back to, yeah, that's the whole song. Guys, I mean, this, you can't make this stuff up. I did not know the song by lyrics. I was not a gargantuan Celine Dion fan when I was on the come up. I liked that Titanic song only because I really love the movie Titanic. But other than that, Celine Dion was never really my big thing, like ever. So I never knew any of her lyrics, not even Yonaya Titanic. So for this song to just be bubbled in my bones, that was God. That was God. He was telling me what in the world is going on over here. And there was literally, this song, it explains hand to glove exactly what is the sentiment of guys that you walk away from them, these men in the occult, you walk away, okay, and they then romanticize the prospect of you coming back, and it's all fleshy, it's all carnal, and it is most definitely heavily sexual. The dreams that I get whenever these spells are in operation are all very heavily sexual. They're sexually abusive. I like to call Korobela witchcraft, basically love spells. That's what Korobela is, right? I like to call it roofies. It operates much like Rufalin. It operates exactly like roofies. What does roofies do? It is this date rape drug that where a woman ends up having sex or is being had sex with by a guy while she's completely under the influence of some catatonizing drug. And this debilitating and paralyzing drug steals the woman's autonomy from deciding to be with a man. But because there are no visible signs of forced entry, essentially because it does not become clear that this woman was forcibly done this to. There's nothing on her body, no scratches, nothing that can say I've been raped. Nothing at all. It becomes very hard, therefore, then to incarcerate a person
unless it is discovered in her body that there is roofies. But the thing with witchcraft is you can't do a drug test to gauge that you've been spiked. It's this thing that makes women end up with men they did not sign up for, and eventually, just like with roofies, he uses roofies to describe what's going on here. Just like with roofies, the woman eventually does wake up, and she does feel that something happened. She wakes up in the morning and can tell that she's been had sex with, and she can also tell that she did not want to do it. But like, there's just such little evidence that this was not consensual and that it was rape, that she just goes through her life disillusioned about what in the world happened there. Some women are even infected with HIV because of witchcraft, korobela, lust spells, where a guy pulls you, gango, with such hard knock lust demons that after you sleep with him, you, for the life of you, will not know what came over you because you didn't even like him. You weren't feeling him like that. Like, you were not even trying, like, proper. Just because you were smiling with him in the office does not, like, for you to end up, like, all the way in his bed. Like, how did you get in your car and then drive to his place? How did it get there? Some of them, never mind, have sex with you and then are like, ooh, I got to hit that with Lerato. Some of them take it all the way to marriage. So then you wake up in a marriage next to a guy that you're like, how did things get to a point where I would accept a whole wedding proposal, like an engagement? Like, how am I married to this guy? How in the world did this happen? That is roofies. Women wake up in marriages to men they did not sign up for, and they, like, guys, they feel ingati, maybe they grew out of love. Like they feel as if though maybe what's happening over here is that I'm no longer that in love anymore with my husband Sangbora. But like, she was never in love. It was all lust. It was roofies. It was there's actually a story from the US of this nature. The woman doesn't even know that she was roofied. I could tell from her testimony that she was. Allow me to tell you that story. These lyrics, you heard them. There were nights when the wind, let's just say these lyrics instead of singing them, so you can understand that this is a woman that's done with a guy, and then next thing, she can't help but think about his kiss. She can't help but, it literally happens like that. It happens. I am going to tell my own story. I am going to tell the story of this woman in the US, and I am going to maybe, perhaps, potentially have you conjure up in your own bones, your body, women, stories that you can think about back then, like just retract and be like, oh my goodness, whoa, like I can relate. This also happened to me. This also happened to me. You're blessed if it's hit it and quit it. You're better off if it's hit it and quit it. If it's a guy that's just trying to spite you by having sex with you and moving on, you're better off with that. It hurts that you're hit and quit, but at least he doesn't stay. Sometimes the guy is so in love with the woman that he insists on marrying her. Those are the ones that are the biggest victims. That's why you need to get born again in Christ, so that you avoid fornication first and foremost, so that a guy does not just pride himself in being able to sleep with any woman that he wants because he knows how to do witchcraft. And secondly, so you don't end up married to the guy who roofied you. Okay? These are the lyrics that Celine Dion, let's just say it, speak them this time instead of actually singing them. There were nights when the wind was so cold that my body froze in bed if I just listened to it right outside the window. There were days when the sun was so cruel that all the tears turned to dust, and I just knew my eyes were drying up forever. Alright, so basically she got that broken, that hurt by this guy. She was with him, she made a decision to get out, and in the beginning stages of the breakup, it was really very heartbreaking, and she made a decision that she doesn't want to be there anymore. With my ex-boyfriend, I was done, I was finished, and the breakup was so ugly and messy that it left me almost catatonic, like I was merely a zombie, just existing, breathing. However, there was no life in me. My whole character was basically changing because I couldn't believe how rude he had become. Why was he that rude? He was that rude because he was trusting witchcraft to keep me hostage. Now, when a guy holds you hostage in a relationship using witchcraft, you will somehow feel a pull to stay with him even though you don't want to be there. You'll keep on getting back together with him even though you know you gotta go. And when you do get back together with him, you will know that you did not want to get back to him, but somehow strangely you can't stay out. So when then he makes a decision to let you just basically throw your toys out the cot, when he says to himself, I'll be back in 2 weeks. That's the kind of stuff that, since he has put witchcraft on you, you're gonna feel so listless. Basically, what I said, I was catatonic, almost like a zombie walking around, merely existing, just inhaling and exhaling, but there was no real life in me. I was zombie-like when my ex had acted like this, because I was not expecting him to all of a sudden pass me so much shade and be so rude. But he was. But I was still, there was something in me that was attached to him. Something in me just could not let go. Do you understand what I'm saying? And however, we'd broken up and I'd been the one to walk out. But like, the fact that he was not even groveling at my feet the way that he used to before, that made me go crazier than it was supposed to, because at the end of the day, I did want to leave. So why do I want him to chase after me? Why do I want him to linger? and ask me to come back, fix things. It's because he had held me hostage. It's like I was on a leash that he had told myself, Amba, see how far you can go. See how far you can go, because he knew that he was holding me with witchcraft. So that's why he was able to become so arrogant. And that hostage situation that you're in, where you are tied to someone you really want to walk away from, by your leg, he's tethered you by your neck or whatever, that whole situation, you feel so listless in it and catatonic that frankly it's inevitable that you will end up back together with him, or you will literally walk in a mild psychosis because you broke up. When you're the one that left, you're the one that broke up, you knew that you wanted to get out of this relationship, but somehow for some strange reason, something is just keeping you tethered to this guy. It's witchcraft, and it makes these men arrogant. It makes them arrogant enough to basically watch you throwing your toys out the cart, trusting that after handling you, by letting you throw your toys out the cart, by the time he comes back, you're going to be basically like a nice little puppy dog panting for him to come back in. Spiritual manipulation. Do you know what set me free from that? Redemption. I had to get born again. Like, I had to get saved. I got saved out of a state of catatonia, out of a zombie little mindset. Like, I was so out of it, merely existing, going through the modes, essentially just staring into the sky, thin air, as I walked these streets. That one day, out of just a severity of a emotional exhaustion, pain that was so exquisite because of the way that he was acting, now that we were broken up, that I cried out to God. I was like, God, help me. I didn't know what to do. I was in the shower. I remember in the morning going, preparing for work, and I could not even finish showering. I got down on the shower floor with the water still running, and my braids were new. My cornrows were new. I had natural hair underneath. You know how when you get water on that, it gets all frizzy. I didn't care. And it was just pouring on my head. I was sobbing fitfully like a child on the shower floor with this pain that I could not grasp, and I didn't realize I didn't know where it was coming from. It is satanic, it was demonic, it was a clutch on my spirit to someone that had rejected me. He was acting like I can undab, but that I had dumped him, and yet I was tethered to him by demons. So the feeling of listlessness is what made me get on the shower floor feeling helpless. Like, how am I supposed to deal with this kind of pain? How am I supposed to do my job? How am I supposed to basically live? And then I got this bright idea right there on the shower floor, given that I was already investigating the things of God, to cry out to God. I said, God, help me, and I was set free, like immediately. I say that day was the day I got born again. I got set free. I walked, it's like I was walking on sunshine, at work. Like, I was so chill. I was so set free. But I was burdened with so much sorrow all night long. I was crying. In the shower, I was crying. I was going to go to work with a bruised face, the way that I was sobbing. And I was set free immediately as soon as I cried out to God. Meaning that whatever it is that was making me like that was demonic. It was not natural. It was not just the way I would feel just because I broke up with my boyfriend. The pain that you would naturally feel when you break up with someone you love. That was not it. It was extreme. It was on another level. It was demonic. It was spiritual. And only therefore, he that we worship in spirit and in truth, it was only in him that I could be set free. And I made a decision to finally surrender to him, because I was playing games. I was dilly-dallying around the kingdom of heaven. And I made a final decision to surrender that morning, and I got born again. I got saved, and it was my salvation that loosed me from feelings that weren't really mine. And with my ex-boyfriend, I like to say that, dude, it wasn't broken, you try to fix it. I was actually in love with that guy. I fell in love with him organically. We fell in love naturally. There was no witchcraft involved. He only got involved in witchcraft later on because he was not getting his act together, and I kept on threatening that I would leave, and he was like, "Don't handler." So he brought witchcraft later on, and for me it's like, if something is not broken, don't fix it. You were supposed to just straighten up, fly right, man up, do what you needed to do, and the two of us would have been okay. But the moment you started investing in sorcery in the relationship, that's when God then awarded favor to the victim in this particular ecosystem. That's when God was like, I'm gonna save Karabo from you. I'm gonna save her from you. When the Lord then goes out of his way to make a decision to save someone from you, dude, like, you're in trouble. You're in a severity of trouble, and it would take years for God to ultimately save me out of that relationship. It was a couple of things that God used to slowly but surely, wean me off that relationship and closer to him. And when then it reached a height of insanity, because a person, do you understand what I'm saying? A person had held me hostage with witchcraft. It was only at the height of that I finally was like, okay God, and the Lord rescued me. And that's what now today has given me power to be able to resist, guys, this level of darkness. Like, all of these pulls, these yearnings, it's like a hard knock, irresistible magnetic pull, this witchcraft, absent of the true power that can actually sever that pull. Jesus God. Y'all, the Holy Spirit, the true God, the creator of the universe, is the only one that can sever such a strong demonic pull towards you, especially. That's the most uncomfortable thing about relationships in the world. You're fornicating, especially when you've been having sex. There is a soul tie, there is a spiritual connection, a bond that you foster, and because it's so sinful, entities are literally given permission to ride that wave. That soul tie, that spirit, that sexual connection that you have with that person is what will then be used to magnify your dependency on them emotionally. You will become like a leech on a guy, even though really frankly he's the one that's leeching off you. He's the parasite, but you will be made to feel like you're the one that's drinking out of him, like you can't do without him, like you can't deal without him. Women, you would know how it feels sometimes when you break up with a guy that you know you gotta get away from, and somehow for some strange reason test to see if that thing is not witchcraft. Just double check. It's not always sorcery. Sometimes you're just genuinely in love with a person, okay, that you are not ready to walk away from. Mara, a lot of times it'll feel extreme, man. It's something about it will just feel kind of ominous and uncontrollable, and like you can't deal, like you can't handle, like there's nothing that's ever felt like it before. Feel pulled up more. Yeah, you can feel that it's your spirit instead of your heart that is being pulled here. It's a weight, guys. It's like being underwater. And when you get born again, you feel immediate freedom. It's like going from being in the depths of the ocean and overnight in Jeffela you find yourself chilling at the beach, like on solid ground, and now you can walk. There's no more resistance. The freedom is that immediate. So just get saved, guys. You know, it's so hard for people. I don't know why it's so hard for people to get born again, because it is the freest and simplest thing that you can ever do. But people are never ready to surrender fully to God because they still love their lives. They're holding on to them. And on top of that, these men, nabo, nyabatanda, you love them to a point where you're not yet ready to let that go, even though God is calling you. Well, sometimes the bond you feel for a man, women, is not natural. It's demonic. It is poignant precisely because it's demonic. And if you give your life to Christ, you will suddenly be able to walk away in a way that will even surprise you. That's what happened with my ex, and it never mind surprised me, but it surprised him too. Because when he tried to come back and I was like, no, he was like, what? Exactly. Telling himself that he's gonna dilly-dally and play games around you. Guys, he gets arrogant. They get arrogant. Of course, there likely are women that do this to men too, okay? But I'm speaking about women from my vantage point because I'm a woman, and on top of that, I do believe that it's largely an epidemic amidst females, where men are doing this to us. In my country in particular, it is a big fat chunky problem that has also raised up from the ground gender-based violence. It's caused lots of violence in men when they, upon being entitled to women and using this stuff, and because they're demon possessed, then becoming violent when they somehow resist. Okay, it is important to give your lives to God, otherwise you're gonna be Celine Dion. You know when you wanna go, Nyanzi. You know when you wanna go. You know when you are done, guys. You just know, and yet somehow you just keep going back to the drawing board. And imagine a person that you walk away from knowing that you had to walk away from, and then you end up married to them. A person you have dumped like 7 times, and you end up married to umuntu omdampe 7. Guys, why was that not a hint? Why were those 7 dumpings not a hint? You should not end up married to a person you've broken up with like 1,000,000 times, guys. And my ex-boyfriend and I were gonna end up inevitably married with the kind of witchcraft he was doing on me if I did not give my life to Jesus. That is not the only story that I have to tell, so let's just finish these lyrics. The first what is this? The first paragraph of this speaks about essentially a sorrow that overwhelms you, that is so exquisite because you have walked away from something you had to get out of, but it's just overbearingly heartbreaking, more even than what you anticipate. Guys, it's like a death has happened. Kodwa, everybody's still alive, and frankly you stand to be truly happy because you had to walk away from a relationship that did not make sense in favor for one that could. So frankly the odds for the future are looking really great. So why are you so devastated? Why are you mourning this relationship like you're a widow? Like it's anyway, whatever, y'all, just stop fornicating, okay? It's that basic. So it's like, so that's like the first paragraph, right? There were nights when the wind was so cold that my body froze in bed if I just listened to it right outside the window. There were days when the sun was so cruel that all the tears turned to dust, and I just knew that my eyes were drying up forever. Yeah, well, I got born again out of that emotional state. And then she says, I finished crying in the instant that you left. Okay, let me not sing it. I finished crying in the instant that you left, and I can't remember when or where or how, and I banished every memory you and I had ever made. I keep saying that if I was not afflicted like this with persecution, with my life going nowhere, and me obviously looking like I'm enduring witchcraft attacks, blockages against marriage, blockages against having children, blockages against basically joy and peace in the future. If it was not for me being in this position, I promise you I would never have thought even one thought again about any of my exes. I would never have awarded them even a single cognitive brain in my cell worth of attention. I would never have thought about my ex again. I would exes a lot. The one that I was with last was not the only one that wreaked havoc so much in my life. The first guy that I ever loved was all up in my grill. So many guys used witchcraft. This stuff is just a problem in the country. I can't say that enough. Yeah, that's what's good. If at all I was not still single at 39, I would not be livid, angry, upset, and constantly huffing and puffing and blowing the house down like the big bad wolf over the fact that I feel stranded in what appears to be sorcery that has been committed against my person by my ex-boyfriends. So that speaks to this portion of the lyrics. I finished crying in the instant that you left, and I can't remember where, when, or how, and I banished every memory you and I had ever made. Like, I was done thinking about you. I was entirely finished. Like, this was a done deal, a sealed, concluded affair. God, why, oh, why under heaven? I apologize, guys. I'm doing edits in the background. Like, I have too much to do for me to just let time progress and deal with stuff just sitting around, idling like a silly car on a winter morning and not going anywhere because somebody just wants to warm their car up before they drive. Okay, yeah, I can't just do that. I finished crying in the instant that you left. Yeah, you would have moved on if this person did not keep you thinking about them using sorcery. Y'all need to be able to spot sorcery from a mile away. You need to be able to identify it when you see it. You need to be able to know and imagine you can't conquer witchcraft without Jesus, guys. Like, he's proper the only solution. Amasangoma ain't gonna help you. And on top of that, you don't want to find yourself all embittered. You don't want to be dealing with a guy that is going to also use the fact that you're literally still hung up on him to break your heart further. Move on. If he wants to hold on to you, Joe, at his own peril, really. But like, it's ideal for everybody to just go on and be on their merry way. It's ideal. What in the world is going on here? That's not the one. I'll finish crying. 1 minute. I apologize. Yeah. You need to know when to move on. Just like gambling, winners know when to stop. Amen. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, you should know how to identify sorcery. And sometimes you won't even know because you're not even looking at Jesus Christ. You're not interrogating the things of heaven. You're not perusing the annals of the kingdom of heaven. And so therefore, you're not going to be awarded an opportunity to spot sorcery from a mile away. When somebody is keeping you all hung up on him, what in the world is going on here? When somebody is keeping you all hard knock, lashed onto them, stop going to the Sangoma to find out what's going on. If a person wants you obsessed with them, they can use sorcery to do that. But like, when you come to Christ, you are given a freedom to not even think about a person anymore. That's what happened with me. But I mean, really, when you're thrown into obscurity and oppression for years on end, persecution, you will be angry, you will be mad at those that put you in a position to suffer. So that's the only reason why I've even spared my ex a thought. But just like Celine Dion in this particular portion of the lyrics, I finished crying in the instant that you left, and I can't remember where or when or how, and I banished every memory you and I had ever made. I was happy to start moving on with my life, and that's what I actually wanted for him too. I wanted him to nayo because obviously this thing could not last. I mean, we could not stay together because we were always fighting, and it obviously could not work out. He stood to gain true love, so as did I. But you know, sorcery keeps you lingering on something that can't work, and so for those reasons, the sorcerer essentially is the one that bewitches themselves in the long run, because they keep themselves obsessed with someone that they could nicely move on from if they just let time heal their wounds. But they also sometimes just want to drag their victims down that road of forgetlessness with them, where everybody is just going to keep on thinking about everybody. You are just being married to some guy, and then you make a decision to keep on thinking about the ex-boyfriend. They want to keep you obsessed. They want to make you believe that it don't get better than them. Even after you marry somebody else, they want you to keep thinking about them. It's just selfish. It's entirely unnecessary. Why do you want me to keep thinking about you and what we used to do now that I'm married to another guy? What is wrong with you? That's the thing about the last days. Like, people are crazy and irrational. Like, just leave a person to go. What's important is for people to just avoid fornication altogether. Like, people should just avoid recreational dating. Like, stop dating just for the sake of having fun. because that's the kind of stuff that produces possessiveness in people, telling themselves that Karabo's mine, she'll never be anybody else. What do you mean I'm yours? I never married you, dude. But then again, I guess I put myself in this position by just jollaring, just for the sake to enjoy whatever pleasures come with jola, just to jola, just to date. Yeah, next thing you've got a dude holding on to you for dear life, making himself a chippies, pa. All day, 24 hours a day. You are not coming up for air because some jealous ex-boyfriend right in the future out there with another man. Like, yeah, even though he's gonna go and grab his own wife. It's random rubbish, okay? But when you touch me like this and you hold me like that, I just have to admit that it's all coming back to me. When I touch you like this and I hold you like that, it's so hard to believe, but it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back. So yeah, it's lust, okay? It's always based on lust. You will know that this is not love and lust, but it's rather lust when you are bombarded by dreams about this person in a very hard knock sexual capacity. I like to say that deliverance ministers do not automatically write off a person getting sex dreams as one who is either 1, addicted to porn, 2, still attached to some soul ties in the past, or 3, undelivered from a spirit husband or whatever that doctrine is, wherever it comes from. Sometimes it's just witchcraft, like proper. Every single time I have dealt with Korobela, I've always seen a lustful dream, and sometimes in these dreams, I am literally consenting. As in, I end up partaking in sexual activity full on, even though in waking life, I'm a whole consecrated Christian, very, very fervently prayerful. I don't watch porn. I don't ingest any content that can linger me in that direction. And yet I will go to bed at night sleeping, having been nicely innocent in the run up to sleeping. And then boom, get lambasted by a sex dream. Some deliverance ministers will proper tell you that you've got a spirit, whatever that even means. A night husband, a spirit wife, whatever, just doctrines of demons. It's just destructive heresies, okay? Or they will tell you that you've got buried sin, or you have not conquered generational curses. Like proper, it should not be that hard. The Lord, when you seek his face to set you free from whatever it is that has held you captive, he will give you freedom. So if when after 10 years you keep on praying but you still got a night husband, it appears as if though you can never ever come up from that. It appears as if though it's like this thing that's sitting on your chest that you can never escape, because here it is that it's back again. No, it's not back again. What's back is some random like buffoon in the kingdom of darkness involved in the occult that is trying to force you to get into their lives. So Korobela thing you will manifest in a sex dream. It is not you. That basically, literally, you know that saying, it's not me, it's you? Or it's not you, it's me? Yeah, well, in this particular instance, it's not you, it's them. You are not the person that is dealing with a sexual perversion of like to a prolific level and to a point where you can't even get delivered from it. It is somebody that has got a sexual deviancy and they're trying to ingest it in you. And so they are basically sending you suggestions in the night, in phantoms, in dreams, to do things in waking life that you would not under normal circumstances do. And a lot of times these dreams are sexual. Please look out for them. If you're busy having sex with some dude in the office, especially if all you do is just pass them by on some hello timber, and now you're dreaming about them in this steamy capacity, guys, this guy's trying to get you to like him. He's trying, like, the awkwardness that you feel when you see him, and that slight crush that you feel you have on him now, that you've seen yourself in that capacity with him in a dream. Understand, comprehend this with every bone in your body. That's what it looks like. And sex in dreams is often far greater than what you would ever experience in waking life. So you will feel as if though, if you experiment with this guy in this particular capacity, you will feel what you felt in the dream. It not only does it charge a lot of lust in you, the pleasure is also extreme. So too are the emotions extreme in a dream. Well, newsflash, knock knock, cling cling cling. Allow me to communicate this to you. Spiritual matters are far more poignant than natural ones. Heaven is going to be a lot more heavenly than we can ever fathom, because our senses are going to be heightened there. So too is hell. The spirit realm is a lot more poignant than the waking realm. So you will literally never have sex as good as you have in your dreams, like ever. So the thing here is to try to get you to pursue that pleasure when it will never come. Because what we have here is restricted and limited to time and space. This realm that we live in, this dimension that we live in, has got a certain amount of sensation in it, and it doesn't excel above that. Otherwise, we just would not be able to deal. We would not be able to take it in our stride. But the devil can induce extrasensory feelings, frankly, that are impossible to acquire in this waking space through dreams, including such incredible sex that you will never experience for as long as you're a human being here on this earth, that you will literally just pursue it just for the sake of figuring out how in the world you getting Temba feels. You will experiment with him. You will dream about Temba, even though you're not interested in Temba, and the next thing you'll be out here blushing in his presence because you dreamt about having incredible sex with him in your dreams. That's Korobela. It looks like that. I'm trying to help you understand Uguti, Lemiti. I'm trying to help you conquer this witchcraft women when you see it. I'm trying to help you see roofies from a mile away. I'm trying to help you smell it. I'm trying to have you basically, there is this like not lipstick, but nail polish that women can purchase that changes color whenever a drink has been spiked. This here is the tantamount of me basically giving you a gift bag that has that nail polish in it so that you can keep on dunking your fingernails into a drink to see if there's drugs in it. There's like roofies, sex dreams. That's how you sniff out roofies. Sex dreams, sniff out roofies. Sniff out roofies with it because they are not innocuous, especially when you see the person that you are busy out here partaking in that particular deed with. They're the culprit. They're the ones that have fished a Korobela spell on you. And so therefore you do best to avoid them like the plague. When you see them in the office the next day or on campus or whatever, Lomundlona is trying to have sex with you. This person might even have true feelings for you and wants to make you a girlfriend/wife. You don't want to marry the person. Ain't nobody trying to do that. So know how to spot or identify this like flying kick from a mile away. Because if you don't, Hashem, hurt is you. Like danger khafarangozi, die, do that, squash it before it even rears its ugly head. Whenever you get a sexy dream about Jabu in the office, just look at him on Samiyo, lento le enugayo, ifuna uglalanam, and avoid him. It's written in God's word, if you resist the devil, he will flee from you. So if you resist him long enough, the sudden feelings, the sudden erosha feelings that you have all up in your grill, the sultry disease in your bones will subside. It'll subside. Give it a few days. Not even weeks, Shem. It won't take very long. Sometimes if you just the very morning when you wake up, you won't even spaz even in the slightest. But if you were even slightly attracted to Jabu, or if you were somewhat on the fence, that's when it takes you over like a tsunami. Umuntu nje azofoster a situation, avoid men into Korobela, and this is one of the ways that you can discover that this is what's going on. So essentially, the part of the song, the lyrics where it says, when you touch me like this and you hold me like that, I just have to admit it's all coming back to me. Yeah, they first touch you in dreams. They first touch you with the Korobela spell. They first touch you with woza woza, izapha siswam, ngiyakuthanda, uwaminaiza type sorcery. And then next thing you will feel as if though you can't help but be held by him. You can't help but be held by just Ujabu because literally nobody else matters. It's how women enter into adulterous affairs. Like I don't get it. Like there's so many men in this world that are single, that are out here looking actively, literally they're searching as with a magnifying glass for wives. And then a woman just decides to just suture herself to some dude that's somebody else's husband. Literally there's more where they came from. And there's somebody out there thoroughly happy to pursue you into marriage. Like, leave a married man alone. Leave a boyfriend alone. There are so many men. Like, babangata guys. But it's just useless to enter into adultery because some women, it's like they are even prepared to be mistresses literally for the rest of their lives because they feel as if though it don't get no better. Reed, did I just break my hair over there? It's like that stupid song. Yeah, Whitney Houston. Hey? Saving all my love for you. It's such a dumb song. When I first listened to the lyrics of that song, and I tell you, it was last year, the first time I heard those lyrics, like for real, saving all my love. I was like, really? A woman wrote a song about how it is that she just can't leave a married man alone. And a few stolen kisses. It's a rubbish song. And that whole mindset, you're saving all my love for you, where a guy is married and you are just holding on for dear life because I don't know, it don't never get no better. You've never seen anything like that. Rubbish. What God has put together, let no man separate. God hates adultery, meaning that if at all a man is married, he must therefore, of course, definitely have someone for you that is going to super duper love you into, like, I don't know, spectacular eternity. It is possible to find somebody that's gonna love you like a fat kid loves cake. Like, it's that basic, and it is therefore a deception from the pit of hell to think that you're gonna save all your love for a married man because you've never met anybody better or different. Ke Satan. Like, just move on, okay? And seek the Lord's face to enable you to conquer. Anyway, so where was I? But when you touch me like this, so yeah, that just basically speaks to the lust. It's always physical based. Like, that's it. There were moments of gold, and then there were flashes of light. There were things I'd never do again. So you are determined. Oh, it's a girl. You are finished. And then next thing we are for what? For who? What's with the reverse? Like, what's with the moonwalking? What's up with that? There were moments of gold and then there were flashes of light. There were things I'd never do again, but then they'd always seemed right. It's like that other song, yeah, Janet Jackson, that I sang the other day, yeah, again. Gingy, never fall in love again. Like you've gone. Didn't think it'd come to this. Good intentions, you had many. I know you did. The same song. I told you, songs that just keep ringing in my mind. Like there are no Christian songs, no Holy Spirit-filled songs that God can use to explain this phenomenon to me. So he uses these secular songs. The Again song, the This Time Yeah John Legend, the Freshly Ground What Would You Do? I sang those the other day in one of my other videos, and now it's this one. Who is this lady? Celine Dion. Basically just carnal thoughts that romanticize something incredibly nefarious, something evil, something ungodly, and something destructive to your soul ultimately, but it is romanticized. It's made to look like it's the thing I need, hey? The thing I need. Like just running with your flesh, no self-control, loving this world, no beating the flesh into submission, no gouging out of eyes, cutting off it, like just, I'll take it, I'm saving Lord my love for you. What? Yes, relax. What makes you think that there's no other person out there in these streets that can love you, woman? You're crazy. How you gonna take second best? How you gonna take day after Christmas instead of Christmas Day? And how you gonna take in your stride the fact that you will never celebrate your man's birthday on his birthday, but rather the next day because he's gotta be with his wife on his birthday? Like, you just settle for scraps and check up Hlongwane. Anyway, whatever. There were moments of gold and there were flashes of light. There were things I'd never do again, but then they'd always seemed right. There were nights of endless pleasure. It was more than any laws allow. A baby. If I kiss you like this and if you whisper like that, it was lost long ago, but it's all coming back to me. If you want me like this and if you need me like that, it was dead. That for me just got me. It was dead long ago, but it's all coming. It was dead. Guys, are we thinking that it's Lazarus? Like, stop. Like, it was dead long ago, but it's all coming back to me. It's so hard to resist. You know why it's hard to resist? Because it's demonic. It is otherworldly. It is a pulling and a yearning that is spurred by spirits and not you. It's a psychological manipulation by another dimension. Who in the world controls that but for those who also operate in another dimension? Those who operate in the first heaven, those who operate in Christ. You have got to be filled by the Holy Spirit to conquer this stuff because it's spiritual. Without the Holy Spirit, dream on. It is not going to be hard to resist. It's going to be impossible. The level of sorcery and the methods that they use to get you guys in, yes, like it, but there is no conquering without Jesus. It is impossible. I told you what a little mess of a nut bag I was on the bathroom floor with my ex-boyfriend. It's because the stuff was demonic, it was spiritual, and only the blood of Jesus severed it. Only Christ, only the Holy Spirit severed it. I'm telling you now. It was hard to resist and it's all coming back to me. I can barely recall, but it's all coming back to me, It's roofies. But you were history with the slamming of the door. Exactly, door slam policy. I told you I'm an INFJ. I know how to door slam. I'm good at goodbye. And yet here it is that you're coming back to a person that long ago. Yeah, guys, you know what? This is like, okay, let's just finish Bina or Na. Let's move to the next part because there's something else that's also coming at the top of my mind. You're gonna have to piece these two things together, please. I'm gonna move to the next part. I tend to like to seal the first part in a round little finished off blob, but I'm not gonna be able to do that. You are literally gonna have to, check out the next part so I can tell you this particular next thing. It's up and coming, like Cell C in the 90s.